Hey, my friend, welcome back to my YouTube channel and for listening to the podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here for another episode. I am Cass, your professional home organizer, but I don't just organize your home, I help you organize and declutter all areas of your lives because, yes, they are all connected. So, on today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about the 75 hard challenge that I was posting about for the last 2.5 months. It completely changed my life, and that's why I wanted to share it with you because it might just change yours as well if you decide to embark on that journey. So, the 75 Hard Challenge is free. It was created by Andy Frisella, if I'm saying that correctly. And right off the bat, I want to tell you what the 75 Hard Challenge entails. So, essentially, you have to do every single thing on this list. If you miss a day, or if you miss something on the list, or you forget to do something, or you cheat, then you fail and you have to restart. I carried a mantra with me every single day saying, I will not quit and I will not fail. And I stood true to that and I made sure to create a routine for myself so that I didn't fail. I almost failed once. I almost forgot to read because I didn't do the reading first thing in the morning, which is what I usually do. Every single morning I would wake up, jump on my exercise bike or start doing a workout. I would read, I would do my photo, all of those things so that I didn't leave those things to the last minute at nighttime because then I would have definitely forgotten. So, the first thing is you have to do two 45-minute workouts. They cannot be back to back, and one has to be outside. Now, I did this in the dead of winter. It was freaking freezing cold, so I had to do it on our biggest snowstorms. I had to do it in the freezing rain and the pouring rain. I had to do it in the nice weather, which was really great, especially at the end of my challenge. I completed my challenge in Costa Rica, so I surpassed my workouts by a crazy amount. So, you have to do two 45-minute workouts, not back to back, and one has to be outside. You have to follow a diet. So the diet that I chose was no processed foods, no processed meats, like bacon, no bacon, no sugars. I upped my protein, so usually I don't eat breakfast or lunch. So every single morning I had to have 2 eggs with some fruit, and what else did I have with it? Some fruit, I had a yogurt, and a protein shake. So I was forced to actually eat food. And the funny thing is growing up, I thought that if you eat food, you gain weight. So I'd always just like snack throughout the day and just try and eat less. But then the food that I was eating was actually really crappy. So I was still gaining weight. It was just, anyways, I did lose. I successfully lost 20 pounds during this challenge, which is just a byproduct of all of the amazingness that I was doing for my body. So you have to follow a diet. You get to choose what your diet means. If you feel like it's cheating, then it probably is. You cannot have any alcohol and no cheat meals. Now, the no alcohol was easy for me because I gave up drinking years ago. And no cheat meals, that wasn't so bad. We were around people when there was birthday parties and celebrations, and so I just would sit out and have a salad or something like that. And at first it was a little hard, I will admit, 100% it was hard. Like day one when I went grocery shopping, I cried inside the grocery store because I felt so defeated. I'm like, what am I supposed to eat? Nothing here is pretty much healthy for you. All of these aisles are just packed with processed, sugary, garbage food. And so I felt kind of trapped. I felt like I didn't know what I was able to eat. And there was no way I was going to fail on the first day, so I just had to figure it out. It really allowed me to gain awareness of the kind of foods that I was putting in my body, the kind of foods that are available to you, especially like when I was on the plane ride to go to Costa Rica, there was zero healthy options. The only healthy option that there was hummus, but then it came with breadsticks, so I couldn't eat the breadsticks. So why would I just buy a cup of hummus for like $8? Luckily, I had brought protein powder so I could just mix it with water, but it just goes to show how limited options are. And like, there's no drive-throughs that you can go and eat healthy food. Like, even Tim Hortons, if you get a soup, the noodles in them are white noodles, so I couldn't have any of that. And if I wanted to go to like a coffee shop, all I could have was like a glass of water. So it really makes you aware of the kind of foods that are available to you. And if you're really like craving something sweet, to find alternatives. So I was making like healthy protein balls, which included the protein powder, healthy peanut butter, honey, and oats. and it was delicious, and that was my go-to if I was really craving something sweet. And then when I was in Costa Rica, I got to indulge in healthy, fresh fruit every day, which I absolutely loved. Okay, so back to the requirements. Two 45-minute workouts, one has to be outside, follow a diet, no alcohol or cheat meals. You have to drink 1 gallon of water a day, and it cannot be flavored. You can't mix your water with anything. So for me, I had to drink 4 of these a day, plus I'd have my pre-workout, plus I would have my protein shake. At the end of the day, I usually would have to chug at least one of these, maybe 2. You would think that by 75 days, you would learn your lesson about water, but I had to pee all the time. And so if I was going to be going out for a drive or going to be going for my outdoor activity, I didn't want to be chugging water because I had to pee undoubtedly every single time. And so I would put it off and put it off and put it off. And then by the time bedtime came, I was like, oh, I just want to go to bed, but I have to chug this water. And then I would be up like 4 or 5 times a night going to the washroom. So that's something that I'm still working on, is getting my water in and not craving it in at the end of the night, because then like, what's the point? Another one is you have to read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. You have to have a physical book so that you feel, you feel, I don't know how he put it, but satisfaction and being able to hold a book to say, like, I read this. So you can't listen to audiobooks, that would not count. And then you have to take a progress photo every single day, which I really liked because then I could see all of my progress every day. So these are the books that I read in the 75 days. I would have never have read this many books in 75 days had I not done this challenge. So I started with Happy Days. It was a great book. I really like Gabby Bernstein. I just feel like that book wasn't really what I needed at the time. This one is absolutely incredible. I would recommend every single person to buy this book, The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Hands down, one of my most favorite books that I've read. The Profit First book I absolutely loved as well because it helped me separate the money that's coming into my business and separate into categories so that I'm actually paying myself and I know where all of my money is going. I know how much I need to make every single month in order to pay my expenses, to pay my bills, to pay myself. It was just such a great book for an entrepreneur, as well as I then applied what I learned in that to help my son have like a 5-envelope system as well. The Power of Now was absolutely amazing as well. I thought originally that it was about like habits and things like that, but it's just about being in the here and the now. And I feel like I want to read it again just because I feel like it's one of those books that you just have to read over and over again. Okay, I'm the type of person, don't judge me, I highlight and write in my books. Because when I do go back, I like to just be able to have a brief overview of what I felt was important to me at the time. And then the Eat the Frog was really great. It's about curbing procrastination. Essentially, Eating the Frog is about taking care of your biggest, most daunting task first thing in the morning so that you actually get it done and you don't procrastinate. If working out is your frog, then definitely do it first thing in the morning. I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning in order to get my first workout done. Originally, I said there's no way in heck I was ever going to wake up at 4:30. And then once I started doing it, holy Hannah, it felt amazing. I just felt so good waking up that early. And so each morning I would wake up, I would do my photo, I would do my exercise, I would read, and then I would meditate and journal, and then I would write out my day. And by the time by the time it was 7 a.m., I'd already worked for an hour on my business, sometimes an hour and a half. I did my 45-minute workout. I read. I had like 3 days within one day. So if any of these books look like enticing to you, definitely pick them up and read them because I loved all of them and I can't wait to read all the rest of the books that I haven't read yet on my bookshelf. I will do this challenge again 100%. There is like a next step to it, which I'm going to be doing, and I'll do a different episode on that in the future. So the reason that I did 75 hard, the reason that why I started is because I'm a total sugar addict. Up until starting, I had drank 2 energy drinks every single day for like 3 years. And at some point my heart was like, yo, you better stop because it's not good for you. And so I was like, oh, I'll swap it out for Pepsi because I really love that cold can that I could drink every day. So I was like, oh, I'll switch it out for 1 Pepsi a day. 1 Pepsi led to 2, and 2 led to 4, and I was like, holy crap. I gained like 15 pounds in a month. I gained more cellulite than I've ever had on my body. My hips expanded wider than I thought was even possible. And on top of all of that, I ate really crappy. I didn't eat breakfast or lunch, and I just ate candy and chocolate bars every day. Like, it was ridiculous. And I thought for some reason it would never catch up to me, but surely it did. My skin was awful, my hair was dry. It just wasn't good at all. And so I knew I needed to change, and I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So I'm like, you know what? I've heard of the 75 hard. I don't know if I can do it, but heck, I'm gonna try. So I thought about this mid-December, and I was like, you know what? I am going to start January 1st. Now, if you're watching this now, I strongly suggest you just decide on a day. Maybe it's 2 weeks from now so you can like begin to wrap your head around it and plan, because you don't want to go into it without planning the books that you're going to read, and your diet especially, and how you're going to fit everything into your schedule. So I chose January 1st. So right up until 11:59 on December 31st, I was drinking my Pepsi and I was having my snacks to the point that like nothing else could fit in my body. And I was like, I'm satisfied. January 1st came along and I was I guess I was sad in a way. I just felt like, what if I fail? And like this feels like a really big thing for me because up until then I wasn't working out. I had worked out a lot in the past, but I made up all these excuses in 2023 of like why I didn't like working out anymore. I did at the beginning of the year when I was training for my half marathon because I had never done a half marathon before. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give myself a lofty goal. Seems like something that I do. And I signed up for it and I trained for it and I ran it and I achieved it. And that was great. And then I didn't run again after that. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just go for the 75 hard. At first, I was like, I'll do the 75 soft, which is just one workout a day. But I was like, why would I do that? Why am I already cutting myself short and making myself feel like I can't achieve something like that? I'm gonna try. And so some people around me were like, you're definitely gonna fail. And other people were like, I believe in you. You can so do this. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad that I didn't give up and that I didn't fail and I kicked freaking butt and it felt amazing and I feel great. And so that was a huge reason why I started it. I didn't prepare a whole lot, just mentally I prepared. I prepared every day mentally, like, okay, I only have so many days left of eating this way and what have you. I did listen to a couple audiobooks as well on top of those, but obviously audiobooks don't count, so that was just in addition to. So things like having a better mindset. And I listened to a book on like cutting out sugar from your life. I forget what it's called. And it says essentially when you make that decision, you should not crave sugar anymore. That's not exactly the case. So I'm going to do the challenge again and again until it becomes a lifestyle versus just like a quick fix to some issues that I was having. Um, I mentioned how you fail. So if you forget to take your photo, you have to restart. If you don't drink all of your water, you fall asleep, you have to restart. If you read 9 pages and you fall asleep and you didn't read 10, you failed and you have to restart. Someone that I know restarted and had like failed and had to restart 3 times, and wow, he was like really pushing himself, and then eventually life just got too busy. He already took really good care of himself already, so this was just like a fun added bonus. But a lot of people who signed up that I wasn't like really friends with, that I just knew of, that they signed up, a lot of them gave up within like the first couple of weeks because maybe they wanted to drink alcohol, or maybe they just didn't want to do it, or maybe they felt like they didn't have enough time. And so I felt really proud that I held myself accountable and I saw it through to the very end. And so if you have someone that you want to do it with, then that's fantastic. But in the end, I think what's most important is you just stay accountable to yourself. Something that's really cool is Andy has created an app. It's $10 for like lifetime use. I would definitely recommend buying the app. because it allows you to check off things throughout the day so that you don't forget, and then you can add reminders as well. So I think that I would have had to create a new system for myself had I not had access to the app, because it allows me to have the visual, okay, this is what I've done so far, this is what I still need to do, and I can set reminders. Um, the challenge changed my life in so many ways. Not only did I lose 25 pounds, but I realized just how much time I have in my day. When I can fit two separate 45-minute workouts in my day, one of them being outside, I was forced to figure out a way to make it work because I have a son and I work and I run a business and I have a dog, and there's just so many things that I had to juggle. And so in order to get that first workout done and not have it back to back, I was forced to wake up early. And it felt great in the end, but I would have never wanted to do that before. I used to sleep until like 7:30 and press the snooze button a million times. So time management, if I was having a really late day, or my day was booked with like extracurricular activities or therapy or whatever it may be, I found a way to make it work. So maybe sometimes I had to do yoga in my backyard when it was snowing at like 8:30 at night, because that was the only time that I could do it. Or if my son was in an appointment, instead of just sitting there in the waiting room scrolling on my phone, I would go outside and do laps or walk around the neighborhood that the appointment was in. I made it work, and so it allowed me to get off my phone, get away from my excuses, and just get it done. And it feels so empowering when you're not like getting stuck in your excuses and the reasons why you can't do something, because let's be honest, they're all bullcrap. If you say you don't have time to do XYZ, it's just because you don't care enough to do it. And that's something that I'm realizing now. I'll call myself out on things all the time. If I catch myself saying, oh, I don't have the time, it's really just because I don't want to. Really let that sink in. And now, if people around me are saying, "Oh, I didn't have time to do it," well, if I know that they've been sitting on social media or watching TV, or they sleep in or whatever, it's like I really feel the urge to call them out and be like, "You do have the time. You just chose to spend your time somewhere else. So it's not about not having time. It's just about how you choose to spend it. So stop making excuses." um, I don't know if I should call people out on it or not. Maybe, maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you would start calling people out, if if you catch them in excuses, if you feel like it would benefit them in a certain way. But anyways, I refrain from doing so. I may, for the odd person that I have a strong rapport with, and I put it like gently. It's like, oh, I feel like you did have the time. I feel like you just decided to watch TV. Like, you had a choice and you made a choice, and that was your choice, and now you gotta live with it. Better luck tomorrow. So my eating habits obviously changed because I made a decision to not have any cheat meals or have any like white breads or white pastas or anything like that. So my eating habits significantly changed. And then when I went to Costa Rica, when I was on my trip, I felt like I wasn't even limited because my brain was already programmed to eat the healthier options. And it felt so empowering. It felt so good. I don't feel bloated anymore. I just feel so full and alive in my body now that I choose healthier options versus like a burger and fries. Instead, I'll choose like these fun like Cobb salads or whatever it is. And before it felt like, oh, like you're on a diet. But it's so weird because just because you eat healthy doesn't mean you're on a diet. You're just choosing to take care of yourself. And that's something that like I feel like our society is like, they've programmed people to think like, if you eat healthy, then you're on a diet, and like you probably shouldn't do that because diets are bad. Well, no, that's not exactly the case. Like, that's ridiculous. Um my excuses changed because I no longer had the excuses. I couldn't have the excuses of not getting my stuff done because there was no way I was going to fail. It taught me how to prioritize my day and how to prioritize things that were important, the things that I wanted to do as well as had to do, like doing, cooking healthy meals and grocery shopping and meal prepping and still doing laundry and working and all of the things, as well as doing the challenge. Sometimes the challenge took up more time, I felt, because it was a huge focus, but whatever you focus on, you get done. My mindset changed significantly as well because I realized that I am very, very capable. If I set my mind to something, then I know in my heart that I'm going to achieve it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it done. And if it felt like I was cheating, then I was like, there's no way I'm gonna cheat on this. So either if I feel like this workout is too easy, then I'm just gonna up it a little bit. Something that is nice about the challenge is you can, like, outdoor walks do count as an outdoor activity, which is really good because if you have kids or you have a dog, then you don't have to do a rigorous hit workout every single day. You can go outside and ride your bike with your family or go for a jog or go for a walk or do some stretching or yoga in the backyard. It's a really great way to interact with your family more and with your animals and your spouse or whoever it is. I gained a lot of knowledge because after having read all of these books, I learned a lot, and then I'm in this phase of my life, which is a great phase to be in, of actually applying what I'm learning. So I have significantly changed so many areas of my life, including my business. So I'm very excited to continue to go back and see what I learned and see what I highlighted and apply it in my life. I built a community. Well, it's not that I built a community, but as I was sharing my progress every single day, people reached out to me and they started actually doing the challenge themselves, and it gave me a chance to cheer other people on. And I found that joining or being a part of something like this, you get to build or like be a part of a little community of like-minded people that, strive to be better in their lives. And it gave me confidence, like a great deal of confidence, and not just because my body changed, and it really changed, but because I kept a promise to myself and I stayed committed and dedicated to the promise that I made myself. And now I know that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through on it. And that feels amazing. No matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes, I feel confident in myself that I can achieve that. And so not only have I stepped into the version of the person, or I'm continuing to step into the version of the person that I want to become and let go of the parts of me that I've picked up along the way that don't exactly serve me. It just feels so good to know that I am equipped to do that. I'm strong enough. I'm brave enough because it takes courage to embark on a journey of completely changing all areas of your lives and changing habits and stepping outside your comfort zone and doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. Um, and by doing so, you build confidence within yourself, and that shines. And people then around you feel confident and inspired too. So I don't know, there's just so much greatness that came out of this challenge, and I'm so excited to do it again. The biggest struggles, I went through a really, really, really big life change, a heartbreak during my challenge. I'm not going to share the details with you all here right now, maybe in the future, but the people closest to me know what happened. And so, staying committed to the challenge during that phase was both challenging because the old me would have wanted to curl up in bed and just cry. Um, but it was beautiful, and I'm so grateful that I had my challenge to lean on because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to give up on myself for this. So I continued on in it, and it forced me to take care of myself, to take care of my mind, to take care of my body, everything. So if you're going through a challenge in life, whether you are transitioning out of a job, or moving, or getting a divorce, or separating from someone, or someone passed away, or whatever it may be, this might be one of the best things that you can do for yourself because it's forcing you to take care of yourself when usually in those circumstances that's when we take the least care of ourselves. So I really think the challenge for that, as well as when I went on my vacation, I had a bump in the road then, but it really forced me to still take care of me. So I'm really grateful for the challenge that with that. There's so many lessons that I mentioned in this that I've learned. I think that when you make a decision for yourself, do whatever it takes to get there, no matter how long it takes. Even if you fail, even if you have to restart this challenge, just do it again. And if you have a strong enough why, you're going to make it happen. I guess that's it, my friend. I will update you after I do phase one or the second phase or whatever it is of the challenge because there is added components to it, most of which I just don't want to do, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm gonna do it especially because I don't want to do it like 5-minute cold showers in the morning. I do not like cold showers, but I'm gonna do it because that's part of it. And I know that it's there for a reason, and so it's gonna be really good for my body, and also it's gonna build mental toughness. And I'm all about that because if you can have mental toughness, if you can have that on your own without needing that from someone else, my goodness, you are way ahead of the game. you can stand on your own, which is so important because, yes, we are built for community, love, and connection, but you also need to be strong enough on your own because you're not always going to have someone or a group of people to lean on to be there to pull you back up. If you fall down, you have to be able to get back up on your own, and everyone else is just an added bonus. So, creating this mental toughness in your life is just freaking invaluable. And I can't say it enough. Just try the dang challenge. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Put a comment below if you're watching on YouTube, or send me a message on Instagram at Transformed Spaces. And thank you so much for watching and for listening. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell on YouTube if you're watching, and hit subscribe on the podcast. Please leave a review for me. It helps other people find the podcast as well. And I cannot wait to see you next week for another episode. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.